everyone. We are now on our week 3, day 4, second semester, first quarter module. Our objective for today is to distinguish the ethical standards among counselors. First, let's have a short recap or review about the functions of a counselor. So number one, providers of individual and group counseling services. Number two, developmental classroom guidance specialist. Number three, leaders and advocates of academic success. Number four, career development specialist. Number five, agents of diversity and multiculturalism. Number six, advocates of students with special needs and students at risk. Number seven, advocates of a safe school environment. And number eight, school and community collaboration specialist. Okay, so before we proceed to our lesson, let us answer first this activity. All you have to do is to tell me whether the following statement is ethical or unethical behavior. Number one, who will try to answer? Number one statement is to have an intimate relationship with the client. What is this? Ethical or unethical? Number two, to say they can do techniques they have not trained to do. Ethical or unethical? Number three, to counsel family members. Number four, to take advantage of a client because of having power over them. Number five, to offer advice to students at crucial turning points in their lives. Okay, so here are the code of ethics of counselors. All professional practices in applied social sciences, counselors must observe confidentiality at all times. Without confidentiality, clients cannot trust the counselors and therefore make the profession impossible to practice. Counselors must not expose anything they hear from their clients in the process of caring for them. The Code of Ethics also states that counselors live and work in accordance with the professional standard of conduct set forth for the practice of guidance and counseling. They should not do harm to their clients. They should be of people of high moral standard. In other words, the counselors cannot practice their profession if they do not follow the principles of confidentiality, since it is the foundation of clients' trust to make the counseling process possible and effective. The counselor should prevent himself from pagiging chismosa or divulging the secret of the client, since it violates the code of ethics of being a professional counselor. And there is a corresponding sanction or punishment if the counselor transgress the code of ethics. His license may be subject for revocation or posibleng matanggalan siya ng lisensya. That is why the counselor should always uphold the high moral standard at all times. Or kailangan mataas palagi yung kanyang moral at pagpapahalaga sa kanyang propesyon. Guidance counselors must respect the dignity, integrity, and welfare of clients. They must work in ways that promote clients' control over their own lives. They must respect clients' ability to make decisions and engage in personal change in the light of clients' own belief and values. The values include an assertion that the work of the guidance counselor involves a special relationship of trust, that the trust is safeguarded and promoted by setting and monitoring appropriate boundaries in the relationship and making this action explicit to the client and relevant others. In other words, the counselor should consider that the client has a self-worth and importance that shall be respected at all times. Counselor should always adhere integrity and honesty with his profession to impose welfare to the client. Counselors should not intervene to whatever courses of action the client may implement. Counselor is just the harbinger of hope who brings realization so clients will be redirected to the right decision making. As a counselor, we are entrusted by our client that we will help them out of their problem. So it is expected that counselor should always keep that relationship healthy and going. So kailangan malaman natin yung mga limitations and boundaries para masiguro natin na si client ay safe. And then we safeguard our client's information by making sure that the counseling environment is safe and caring. The Institute of Guidance Counselors Code consists of 4 overall ethical principles that subsume a number of specific ethical standards. Principle number 1, respect for the rights and dignity of the client. Guidance counselors honor and promote the fundamental rights, moral and cultural values, dignity, and worth of clients. They respect clients' rights to privacy, confidentiality, self-determination and autonomy, consistent with the law. As far as possible, they ensure that the client understands, consents to whatever professional action they propose. As a guidance counselor, pinapahalagahan natin ang karapatan at dignidad ng ating kliyente. Kailangan aware si counselor sa rights ni client para alam niya ang kaniyang limitations. So yung mga fundamental or basic rights na kailangan nating i-execute during the counseling process ay freedom of expression ni client, karapatan ni client na magkaroon ng privacy at personal na buhay, kahit anong gawing procedure ni counselor sa client ay kailangang naaayon sa consent at pagsang-ayon ni client. Number 2 principle, competence. Guidance counselors maintain and update their professional skills. They recognize the limits of their expertise, engage in self-care, and seek support and supervision to maintain the standard of their work. They offer only those services for which they are qualified by education, training, and experience. So guidance counselors should never stop in acquiring new knowledge in their field of profession. As time goes by, our environment and demands of the client change. So the counselor must embrace those changes by learning new approaches in the profession, especially integrating and imbibing technology as a crucial part in the counseling process. Hindi dapat napapagod si counselor na umattend ng mga trainings at seminars dahil napakahalaga nito para mapanatili ang pagiging competent at expert sa trabaho. So, para rin masiguro na naibibigay natin ang quality service para kay client. So, napakahalaga rin ng qualified education para masabing ikaw ay competent na guidance counselor. So, ang pagiging competent ay tumutukoy din sa pag-alam sa ating limitasyon bilang isang profesional. So, kung hindi natin kayang i-handle ang problema ni client, pwede mo siyang i-refer sa ibang eksperto. Okay, so principle number 3 is responsibility. Guidance counselors are aware of their professional responsibility to act in a trustworthy, reputable, and accountable manner toward clients, colleagues, and the community in which they work and live. They avoid doing harm, take responsibility for their professional actions, and adopt a systematic approach to resolving ethical dilemmas. So knowing our duties and functions as a counselor is vital in exercising our profession effectively. Our credibility, reputation, and image as a counselor depends on how we do our jobs and responsibility. It is tantamount that our working environment, community, and macrosphere trust our credibility. Kasi kapag nakilala tayo as effective counselor, kahit saan tayo magpunta, ay sasaluduhan tayo and our legacy will become remarkable. So in case na nagkaroon ng ethical dilemma or nagkaroon ng problema sa profession natin, so aakuin natin yung accountability. We are held liable. So kailangan dumaan tayo sa tamang procedure para maresolba natin ang problema. Principle number 4, integrity. Guidance counselors seek to promote integrity in their practice. They represent themselves accurately and treat others with honesty, straightforwardness, and fairness. They deal actively with conflicts of interest, avoid exploiting others, and are alert to inappropriate behavior on the part of colleagues. So, integrity is very crucial. It is anchored on being honest and having a moral principles. So, kung ano yung ipinangako mo kay client, dapat tuparin mo, especially on the matters of privacy and confidentiality. So kapag may manghihingi ng information ni client, huwag mo itong ibibigay kahit friends mo o kakilala because they might use it against the client. So confidential information is your client's life that must be preserved. Conflicts should be settled by due process of law. Okay, so many other similar codes exist with the same expectations for ethical conduct. The fundamental principles include the following. So, may pagkakapareho ito sa na-discuss natin last meeting, yung 10 fundamental principles of counseling, pati na rin sa Code of Ethics of being a professional counselors. So, meron silang pagkakapareho. So, yung pinakauna dito is respecting human rights and dignity, followed by respect for the client's right to be self-governing, and then a commitment to promoting the client's well-being, fostering responsible caring. Next is fair treatment of all clients and the provision, followed by equal opportunity to the clients availing counseling services. So dito pumapasok yung social justice. And then ensuring the integrity of practitioner-client relationship, and then fostering the practitioner's self-knowledge and care for self. Penultimate, enhancing the quality of professional knowledge and its application. And the last one is responsibility to the society. The Code of Ethics goes into specifics to detail professional behavior, from respect to fundamental rights, moral and cultural values, dignity and work respect of clients, to respect various privacy, confidentiality, self-determination and autonomy, consistent with the law, and ensuring that the client understands and consents to whatever professional action they propose. Hence, codes define parameters for general respect, privacy, and confidentiality, informed consent, and freedom of consent, and recognition of limits and competence.